Interleukin-5, also called IL-5, is an important cytokine, or signaling molecule involved in the immune response. IL-5 promotes eosinophil proliferation, B-cell proliferation, and IgA production. In this video, I'll give you my visual mnemonic to remember all the key facts about IL-5. Hey, give me 5. Let's take a look at that brother and sister interlocking their hands in a high five. It looks like they're celebrating her bullseye shot at the country fair. Interlocking objects are our recurring symbol for interleukins, a class of signaling molecules used by the immune system. And we're talking about interlocking 5s, which obviously means we're dealing with interleukin-5. Get it? Interlocking high 5s for interleukin-5. All right, let's focus on that shoe donation bin in the back. Looks like the local shoe drive has even made it to this country fair. You can really help the less fortunate by donating your shoes. By the way, we're talking about help in the context of shoes to remind you of Th2 cells, or T helper cells type 2. You know, since shoe is our recurring rhyme for the number 2, and the help for, well, helper T cells, right? And it seems like the brother here is even volunteering for this shoe drive as a helper. The combination of the help shoe bin and our helper here should help you remember that IL-5 is released by T helper 2 cells, or Th2 cells. Th2 cells do a lot of things, but you should remember that they can release IL-5. Let's move on now to discuss the exact functions of IL-5. See that yo-yo dangling from our young man's hand? Must be boring helping all day for the shoe drive, so this kid has brought the yo-yo to pass the time. Coincidentally, yo-yos are our symbol for eosinophils, or EOs. Get it? Because EO sounds like yo-yo. Th2 cells stimulate proliferation of eosinophils, and this happens by way of IL-5. That's why he's in the interlocking high five with one hand and playing with the yo-yo in the other. Eosinophils have an important role in the immune response against helminths, or parasitic worms, as well as in allergic diseases like asthma. You can check out our dedicated scene on eosinophils to learn more, but for now, just know that IL-5 stimulates growth of eosinophils. Next, let's move on to the bow. This bow is our recurring symbol for B cells. You know, it's the B-cell bow. And just like a bow fires an arrow, B cells fight infections from far away by shooting projectiles of their own, called antibodies. This girl in an interlocked high five is holding a B-cell bow. This should remind you that IL-5 stimulates B cells to proliferate and make antibodies. So what kind of antibodies do these B cells end up making? To answer, let's take a look at that bale of hay over there. The girl's arrow seems to have cut off the top of the hay bale in the center, making it look kind of Y-shaped, a bit like an antibody. And you know what antibody-shaped hay reminds me of? That's right, IgA, or IgA. We have a dedicated scene on IgA, but you might remember this as the antibody type responsible for mucosal immunity. IgA is actively secreted into our mucosal surfaces to fight against pathogens, and its production is stimulated by none other than, you guessed it, IL-5. Putting this together, IL-5 not only makes B cells proliferate, but it also makes them undergo class switching to IgA. Basically, B cells switch the type of antibody they make, from the default IgM to IgA under the influence of IL-5. Just remember this Y-shaped bale of hay to remember how IL-5 leads to production of IgA. All right, that's it for IL-5. Let's summarize. Interleukin-5, or IL-5 for short, is a cytokine produced by Th2 cells. IL-5 stimulates proliferation of eosinophils, which are important in the immune response against parasitic worms as well as in diseases like asthma. In addition, IL-5 acts on B cells to promote their growth and class switching to IgA. This increase in IgA provides immunity at mucosal surfaces. And that's all you need to know about IL-5. We'll see you in the next one.